Hi, everyone, and welcome to Storytime with Miss Laurel. In honor of Mother's Day today, I thought that I would share with you a story from my own childhood from this treasury of stories that I read so much that it is almost absolutely falling apart. I loved to read as a kid. I was a big nerd and very proud of it. Um, but I thought that I might share with you a story about why we should all listen to our mothers. Happy Mother's Day to all the Pumphouse Junior moms out there. We love you so much, and we honestly cannot wait to see you again and get back to doing theater, which we love. So today I'm going to tell you a story that you may have heard or may have seen a recent movie of. I don't know. You tell me in the comments. So today we are going to enjoy together The Tale of Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter. Once there were 4 little bunnies named Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother under a big fir tree. One sunny morning, Mother Rabbit told her little bunnies, "You may go and play, but be sure to stay out of Mr. McGregor's garden. He does not like little rabbits, and he will come chasing after you." There's Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and little Peter and Mother Rabbit. So Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail each took a basket, hoping to find some sweet, wild blackberries. And Peter thought he looked rather fine in his new blue jacket with the shiny brass buttons. "Run along now," said Mother Rabbit. "I am going to the baker's." And off she went to buy a loaf of brown bread and 5 cinnamon buns. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail were good little bunnies. They always listened to their mother. They went down the lane to look for blackberries. But Peter was a naughty little rabbit. He ran down the lane, through the fields, and squeezed under the gate to Mr. McGregor's garden. He could hardly wait to nibble some crunchy radishes and carrots. First, Peter ate some lettuce and some green beans. Then he ate some radishes. The carrots were delicious, but the onions were too strong for his taste. When Peter's tummy began to ache, he went to look for some parsley. But at the end of the garden row, Peter saw Mr. McGregor. The farmer was on his hands and knees planting some cabbages. When Mr. McGregor saw Peter Rabbit, he jumped up, grabbed his rake, and chased after the scared little bunny. "Stop, thief!" cried Mr. McGregor. Uh-oh, Peter's in trouble now. Peter was very frightened. Excuse me. He ran through the garden looking for the gate. Where was it? Peter knew he was lost. Poor Peter lost one shoe among the cabbages and the other in the potato patch. Without his shoes, he could run much faster. He might have gotten away, but the shiny brass buttons on his new blue jacket got tangled in the gooseberry bush. The only way Peter could get free was to wiggle out of his new blue jacket and leave it behind. Peter shed big tears. He was sure he'd never find his way home. Peter had no time to feel sorry for himself. Mr. McGregor was not far behind. Hop, jump! Peter rushed into a tool shed and jumped inside a watering can. It would have been a good place to hide had it not been half full of water. Mr. McGregor was sure Peter was hiding in the shed. Quietly and carefully, he began turning over flower pots, looking under each one for a naughty little rabbit. "Kerty-choo!" Peter sneezed, and Mr. McGregor was after him again. Peter leaped out the window, upsetting 3 flower pots. Mr. McGregor tried to follow him, but the window was too small, and Mr. McGregor was tired of chasing the little rabbit. So he went back to his work in the garden. Peter sat down to rest. He was shaking with fear. He was out of breath. He didn't know which way to go. And he was also very damp from sitting inside that watering can. After a while, he began to wander around, going hippity-hop, not very fast. He saw a door in the wall, but it was locked. Just then, a little mouse scampered past him. Peter asked her the way to the gate, but she had a large pea in her mouth and couldn't answer. She only shook her head at him. Peter began to cry again. Peter wandered across the garden to a fish pond. There, a white cat sat very still, staring at the goldfish swimming in the pond. Peter had been warned about cats, so he decided not to ask her the way to the gate. Smart. Peter became more and more confused. Suddenly, close to him, he heard the noise of a hoe. Scritch, scratch, scratch, scritch. Peter hid underneath some bushes. Nothing happened, so he climbed into a wheelbarrow for a better look around. The first thing he saw was Mr. McGregor hoeing onions. He had his back to Peter, and there it was. Just across the garden, beyond Mr. McGregor, was the gate. Peter ran to the gate as fast as he could and slid underneath it to safety. Mr. McGregor could not catch him now. Peter did not stop running until he reached his home beneath the big fir tree. Mother Rabbit was busy cooking. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail were having a supper of bread, milk, and blackberries. Peter was too tired to eat. He flopped down on the soft sand floor and went to sleep. Peter's mother tucked him into bed and gave him a dose of chamomile tea. 1 tablespoon to be taken at bedtime. Mother Rabbit watched Peter sleep. She wondered where he had lost his little shoes and his new blue jacket with the shiny brass buttons. Only Mr. McGregor knew where Peter's clothes were. He had hung them up like a scarecrow to frighten the blackbirds away from his garden. And there you have it. That is the tale of Peter Rabbit. And it is also a tale of why it's important to listen to our mothers, because sometimes, most of the time, all of the time, they know better. So from Pumphouse Junior to all of our favorite Pumphouse Junior moms, we love you, we miss you, and happy Mother's Day.